when you think of the closest people around you, do they feel more like a circle or a cage? Big question. Big question to consider, right? Does your inner circle feel more like a circle or like a cage? Big question. So there is an entire chapter in Worthy called Circle or Cage. And it really goes deep into the power of, your inner circle, and then what I call your outer circle, and then the space where people don't belong anywhere near your circle, right? And I talk about, because so many of you ask me questions like, how do I build adult friendships? Or how do I get great mentors in my life? Or how do I, knowing that energy is contagious, how do I attract or curate the right kind of people around me? Huge question, so important. And who you have around you can truly impact who you believe you are at a core level. And that is why it can impact your self-worth. That is why it is so important. And a lot of us have, people we were raised around, or really well-intended family we love, but we know when we're around them, we feel our vibration go down. We feel our belief in ourself go down. We feel our self-doubt go up, or our fear go up, right? All of those things we don't want more of, we feel them go up when we're around them, but we love them and we don't want to be like, peace out, right? In a lot of cases, we love people and we don't just want them out of our lives, but we also know, oh gosh, if I don't have, boundaries, and if they're around me all the time, I just kind of feel like I start to doubt myself out of my own destiny. Or I feel like I start to talk myself out of my own truth, or I feel my fear or anxiety increasing, right? Those are all things that are so important to notice. And, this isn't something you broadcast, like, I think you are much more of a cage than a circle for me, right? These are stuff that you, first of all, just start with awareness inside yourself, of thinking about who are the closest people to you in your life that you spend the most time with. Do they feel like a circle or a cage? I go into how to do this at a real granular level in the whole chapter on circle or cage in Worthy. And it really talks about how do you really identify it? And then how do you curate your true inner circle and what that means? What does that mean to have a true inner circle? Which, by the way, your circle could be 2 people. It could be 5 people. You just want to make sure they're the right people. Right? So how do you truly curate your inner circle? And that might mean existing people in your life that are part of it. It may mean you need to get another person or 2 in there that's the kind of person you want in your inner circle. And then how do you establish more of an outer circle, which is people that you want in your life, but they might be in specific or limited capacities, right? There might be someone that you just love working out with, but you notice every time you're working out and you share your big professional ambitions, you start to just kind of doubt yourself, right? And they don't get it, or they, see your ideas through the lens of their own fear or their own limiting belief, right? So it talks about, okay, well, maybe that's a person that's more in your outer circle that you bond with at the gym, you get the reps in together. Maybe you talk about what's going on The Bachelor tonight, or who won the NFL game this weekend, or whatever it might be. But you keep them in your outer circle. You don't share those, core big goals and dreams and hopes and ideas, because if you do, their self-doubt is gonna stick to you, right? So who is it in your outer circle, and how do you set boundaries up around there, and how do you nurture and love on those relationships and keep those relationships you wanna keep in your life, but you move them out of the inner circle into the outer circle? And then I go deep in here in Circle or Cage, which is one of the chapters, one of the more than 20 tools in Worthy on how to build self-worth. I go deep into how do you truly identify if a person should be nowhere near your circle at all? And then what do you do about it, especially if they are loved ones, friends, family, etc. So this is super, super important. I shared an excerpt from Worthy on my Instagram and social recently, and it just went bananas. People sharing it like wildfire. And I think it's because so many of us can identify with this. And it's a definition really of what your inner circle should feel like, because I'm gonna share it with you in a second, but here's what I wanna say. When we eat Cheetos, we get residue, orange residue in our fingers. When we drink blue Slurpee, our tongue turns blue from the blue residue, right? When we eat a food of a particular color, our tongue might get the residue of that food. Well, that's real physical residue we can see. There's also emotional residue, which is when you spend time around people, how do you feel after? Their emotional residue sticks to you. So if you walk into a room and you're like, I do not feel welcome, or these people are mean, or the vibration's low, or whatever it might be, and you leave that room, you kind of feel that emotional residue sticking to you and you just want to shake it off. Emotional residue is a real thing. It's so important. I go deep into it in Worthy. And here's what I want to share about your inner circle. I'm going to read it to you from an excerpt from the book, okay? Your inner circle should feel like a hug and taste like freedom. It should be a place you can exhale, where you can mess up, get it wrong, cry it out, all with the unshakable certainty that love won't be withheld from you if you do. That is how your inner circle should feel. So today, ask yourself, are the people closest to you more of a circle or a cage? And let's get busy putting them in the right spot. Inner circle, outer circle, nowhere near your circle, because it is one of the most important tools to building unshakable self-worth.